Good morning, students. I am Poonam Agarwal and I'm from KBCRP Mukama Ghat. I welcome you all to today's English class. Last day we had started the chapter The Making of a Scientist by Robert W. Peterson, and today we'll be continuing with the chapter. I had told you about Richard H. Albright. How Richard H. Albright was a bright student when he was young, and he was given proper materials for learning by his mother, and the place in which he grew up, that was Reading, Pennsylvania, was also perfect for his experiments and his making of a scientist. And the making of a scientist here, the qualities which is needed to become a scientist are discussed. Not only this, you can also substitute the word scientist by any other word. The making of a professor, the making of an engineer, there are few qualities in the making of any profession, in the building of your career, and most of the qualities are similar. For example, every work needs your hard work, every work, every profession needs your will, it also needs curiosity. So it teaches you about the qualities that you need to become successful in your life. Now we'll continue with the remaining portion. At the end of book, readers were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick Urquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. We have discussed that how his mother has provided him with a book, and the book was The Travels of Monarch 10, that was about the butterflies. Monarch is a species of butterfly which travels to Central America, and that book discusses the reasons why it is a research. And at the end of that book, the readers who are interested, they were invited to tag butterflies for research. Tagging butterflies is a process in which in the wings of butterfly, that is monarch butterfly, tags are put in the tags, the location, the date is written, and whoever will recover these tagged butterflies will take it to Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart, and this will help in the research, for the research. For several years, his basement was home to thousands of monarchs in different stages of development. Now, Richard H. Ebright, he started collecting butterflies, but it was very tiresome because at that time he was not able to collect much butterflies. So he thought of breeding, he thought of raising up butterflies in his own basement, and for several years he did that, and he raised monarch butterfly in his basement. As a result of that, he could observe it more, he could know about, he could study them more. He would catch a female monarch, take her eggs, and raise them in his basement through their life cycle, from egg to caterpillar to pupa to adult butterfly. Now, what would Richard H. Albright do? He would catch a female monarch, he used to take her eggs and raise them in the basement through the life cycle of a butterfly. From egg it turns into caterpillar, then into pupa, and then into adult butterfly. Then what happened? As he was raising butterflies, he was continuing this process. But what happened? He found that only two of his tagged butterflies were recovered. So he got somewhat disheartened at that, and he left this process of tagging butterflies. Now he started. By the time he is grown up, and he starts participating in contests and competitions, science competitions. County Science Fair. His entry was slides of frog tissues, which he showed under a microscope. Now, county is a province, is a region. There was a science fair in his county, and he also participated in that. His entry was a slides of frog tissues. He presented frog tissues under a microscope, but he couldn't win anything that year because he found that other students who has won, other participants, they had done real experiment, and obviously those who are showing real experiments, they will be winning prizes rather than he who had just presented under the frog tissues under a microscope. So if you are participating in science fair, and if you are attached with, if you are doing something in science, experiment are very important. That this thing he learns from his first county science fair. For his eighth, then one more thing he did. He also wrote to Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart. He also took suggestions, ideas from him, and he sent him a number of stack of suggestions. For his eighth grade project, Ebright tried to find the cause of a viral disease that kills nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. Now, now he started participating. He was one of the contenders of those county science fair, and in his eighth grade project, he tried to find the cause of monarch caterpillar which dies every year due to a viral disease. Now he thought that he studied from somewhere that these monarch caterpillar, they dies because of beetle. So he tried to do the experiment. He raised monarch caterpillars in the presence of beetles, but he couldn't get any result out of that. So he left that experiment, but he learned a lot of things from that experiment. He didn't get any result that monarch caterpillars are dying because of beetle or for any other reasons. He couldn't solve that. The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarch. Slowly, from collecting butterflies to presenting frog tissues under a microscope to finding the cause of a viral disease which leads to the killing of monarch caterpillars from another experiment. He is growing as a scientist. He is learning bit by bit how experiments are very important in science. He is learning about the experiments. He is learning more about the butterflies, how to present himself and his project in the fair. And next year, his project was knowing about whether the viceroy butterflies copy monarchs or not. Now viceroy is a species of butterfly, monarch is another species. Viceroy monarchs are very tasty to birds. They are a tasty prey to birds. So viceroy butterflies are often eaten by birds. So viceroy butterflies, they copy monarch in order to save themselves from being the prey of birds. So his project was, he wanted to know whether monarch butterflies are eaten by any birds or not, and he found that starling bird eat monarch butterflies. So he after his experiment whether viceroy butterflies copy monarchs or not, he learned this thing that the starling eats monarch butterflies. This way he is learning many things. This project was placed first in the zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. Now, this project about whether viceroy butterflies copy monarch or not was placed first in the zoology division. In the zoology, it was first, and overall in the overall in the county science fair. There he won the third place for zoology. Indirectly, it also led to his new theory on the life of cells. This project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. Now, this project, after he has studied about viceroy and monarch butterflies, it has introduced to him a new theory on the life of cells, and it was also placed first in the county fair and provided entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. Now, one more important experiment he has done. He has studied about 12 gold spots on the body of monarch butterflies, and he wanted to study whether these gold spots are only ornamental or it has a function, it has a purpose or not. So he did an experiment. Most of the opinions were that it doesn't have any purpose, it only is for a decorative purpose. We all know that animals, insects, they have different kind of skin. They have their, it has a certain pattern. Take it zebra, take it tiger, take a butterfly. So it might have a purpose, it might not have, it might be for it might be natural only. So what happened, but for Frederick A. Urquhart, who was his mentor, who used to suggest him every time in his experiment, was of the opinion that these gold spots are not only ornamental, these are not merely ornamental, these have a purpose. So he did an experiment, and he found out that these 12 gold spots serve a purpose, that these secrete a hormone, and because of this hormone the caterpillars becomes butterflies. Without this hormone, the butterflies might not be developed. For the full development of the butterflies, this hormone is very much needed, so it has a purpose. and it also provided him more exposure and provided him opportunity to work in the army laboratory, and where he became better as a scientist, better as an experimenter. So in this way, he participated in one after another fair, and every year he is moving forward a step forward, and every achievement provided him more exposure and to work in more laboratories. So in this way, we have studied about Richard H. E. Bright, and we also have told that if he has if he has discovered about these 12 gold spots having a purpose, having a function, he has also introduced a new theory of life. He has studied about DNA. He come to know that DNA is the nucleus, DNA is the nucleus, and it controls heredity. DNA is very important, and this thing he introduced, and because of his experiment with the insect and its hormones, he came to know that. And because of this theory, it might help him in helping another other diseases like cancer and other viral diseases. At the end of the chapter, we are told that there are few qualities which Richard H. E. Bright had, and which made him a scientist, which help in the making of a scientist. And these are first rate mind, curiosity, and will. And Richard H. E. Bright was well endowed with all these qualities. So here we come to the end of the chapter, and the his theory on the on cells, which he has known about DNA, is included in his article in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science, PNAS. And this journal for the first time included in itself the paper by a graduate student, by a college student. Before that, it was only limited for the researchers. So it was a big achievement for Richard H. E. Bright.